Exercise 24-19, we're going to look at target costing. And so it's kind of what it sounds. So the idea is that maybe what we can sell it for in the market is going to be set by by the market. We can only sell it for so much, but we know we need to make a certain percentage to make it worth our while. So then the only other option we have is to make sure that our costs hit a certain mark that gives us that desired margin. And so in this one, we have Instant Image manufactures color laser printers that sells for $460 and has a cost of $230. And then they give us kind of the detail on how they come up with that product cost. Then it says that the market's getting competitive, and they think next year that price is going to drop from $460 down to $400 per unit. But they want to maintain their historical profit margins, so what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to lower their costs in order to meet that. So they came up with 3 ideas in order to reduce their cost. They're going to do a plastic cover that doesn't require screws, and that's going to save 15 minutes per unit. Then they're going to add an inspection step, which is going to increase the amount of labor, but then it's going to decrease the amount of materials by $20. And then in the third one, they're going to decrease the cycle time of the injection molding machines from 4 minutes down to 3. And then it tells us that 40% of the direct labor and 48% of the overhead are related to the injection molding. And then it tells us that the direct labor rate is $30 per hour. So the first step in part A, determine the target cost for the printer, assuming the historical markups on the product and the selling are maintained. All right, so we have an original cost of $230 per unit, that's given, and an original selling price, they tell us, is $460. So that means that when we sell a unit for $460, 50% is going to be cost and 50% is going to be profit. So if next year, if the price does go down to $400 and we want to maintain that 50% margin, that means we have to have a target cost of $200 per unit. So in part B, it just asks us to do the math on that. So if our cost right now is $230, we need to get it down to $200. That means we need to reduce our cost by $30 per unit. So then in part C, it asks us to evaluate these 3 cost-saving ideas all together and to see if they actually save us $30 per unit. All right, so the first thing it talks about is they can make a plastic cover that doesn't require screws. And so we're going to save some time on number 1. So the direct labor cost per hour, it tells us that it's $30 per unit, or $30 per hour. And so what we want to do is we want to get that. They're talking about everything is in minutes. They're saving minutes. So let's get it down to a direct labor rate in minutes. So if we take our 30 divided by 60, we got 50 cents a minute. And it tells us that they're going to save 15 minutes by doing this. So 50 cents times 15 minutes, $7.50 savings. Then in number 2, they're going to add an inspection step that's going to add 6 minutes to the process, but it's going to decrease our materials by $20 per unit. So if we're going to add 6 minutes to this, so 6 minutes of cost, I'm going to make that negative at 50 cents a minute, we're going to increase our cost by $3 per unit, but we're going to save $20 in direct materials. So we're going to save $17 from step number 2, or idea number 2. All right, and so the third one is they're going to decrease the cycle time from 4 minutes down to 3. So the time savings is going to be, they're going to save 1 out of 4. So they're going to save 1/4 of the time. Let's get this to a percentage. There we go. So we're saving 25% by going from 4 minutes down to 3 minutes. So our direct labor savings is so our direct labor is $40 per unit, and out of that, 40% of that direct labor is related to the injection molding. So we want to times that times 0.4, and we're going to have a 25% savings. So we multiply that times this right here. So we're going to save $4 on direct labor. So it says we're also going to save 48%, or we're going to save factory overhead. We're going to save 25% of it, of which 48% is related to the injection molding. So we do the same thing up here. So the factory overhead per unit is $15 per unit. 48% is related to injection molding, and we're saving 25%. So we're going to save $1.80. So for idea number 3, we're going to save $5.80. And then altogether, for ideas 1, 2, and 3, it's going to give us a total cost savings of $30.30. So our goal was $30 per unit. We're actually going to save $30.30. So it looks like we're going to be able to meet our goal should that price drop down to $400.